Hey, Crosspark, it's Jeff and Grant. We're here to just interview each other, see what our summer plans are together.
Yeah, we've got a lot of change coming up in the life of Crosspark Church and also in Nykirk life and Beachy life. And so wanted to expand a little bit on what Jeff recently shared in worship about their plans for moving this summer. And then we'll also, Jeff and I will talk some about my summer plans, Beachy summer plans. So, Jeff, why don't I start with you? Remind us what you and Gabby are. Well, first, actually, tell us where you are. That might be a good intro into this. Looks like some institution that you're a part of here. Where are you at right now?
Yeah, so I'm on campus at RTS, Reformed Theological Seminary. This is our study hall, but most students first study in the library, so it's a nice quiet space.
Nice, nice. And you are finishing up your studies at RTS this spring?
I am finishing up, so I'll have a few classes left to take over the summer, but I'll be done with residential studies this spring. And
Okay.
yeah,
And you said you're going to finish them up this summer, or will you have to go through the fall as well?
I'll have a couple in the fall as well. Yeah, kind of space them out between summer and the fall, as I also study for licensure, other things. Get ready to do other
Other things. Okay. I can think of about five or six other things. Do you want to flesh out for us, remind us what some of those other things are that you're up to this summer?
Yeah, so this summer, Gabby and I will move in about middle of June to Bowling Green, Kentucky, where I'll be the new campus director of the RUF there at Western Kentucky University. Uh, so that's kind of the biggest thing going on. Yeah, we're looking forward to it.
So you're finishing residential, you're not graduating seminary yet, but then you're moving to Kentucky.
Yep.
Um, any other pieces of that you want to talk about?
Yeah, so part of the move this summer, so uh, I'll be studying for licensure exam, which is uh, in the PCA. Along the way to getting ordained, you take exams to be licensed, which allows you to preach and teach. It's basically a Presbyterian stamp of approval that says we don't think this guy is going to spread heresy. We think that he's trustworthy and reliable, so he gets the A-OK to go preach. So I'll be studying to take those exams. It's three big exams over Bible and theology and church government. And then Gabby will be starting a job, and she's pregnant, so we have lots of things to get ready for that with. And yeah, so it'll be a busy summer, but fun, uh, lots of fun and good things to look forward to.
Buying
But
a house too, right? That's
and
part of
buying a
it
house,
also.
yeah,
Yeah,
yep.
yeah.
So
It's like almost
we'll be
every major
busy.
life transition, y'all are, yeah, notching
Just put
off
it all
several of them
put it all together,
in
just
a
get it done
very
with.
little window. Yeah, let's do it all. Let's do it all. That's good.
Yep.
The Lord will certainly provide. Yeah. So moving, Gabby being pregnant, new place, and studying for licensure. That is a lot. So Cross Park, there you can be praying for Jeff and Gabby in all that. There's so much. I mean, the licensure thing itself is a really big deal. I mean, you've been a student for the last 3 years, 3+ years, and every semester there's exams to study for. But a licensure exam essentially takes a whole seminary's worth of study and compresses it down into uh, one series of exams. And
Yeah.
there's a written portion to it, and then you have to meet with the committee of the presbytery, and then you have to go before the floor of the presbytery where they can ask you anything within those topics that they want to. And so it is very intimidating for a young man or an old man. I've known some older guys that get licensed later. Um, but it's an essential piece. It's actually one of the reasons that I love our church government is because it recognizes the importance of the preached word, and it puts a lot of value on ensuring as best we can that the men that fill our pulpits and minister to our people have the credentials necessary. And so hopefully that encourages our people with how robust those exams are. But it's not for the faint of heart, Jeff, but you'll
So
make it through. You'll do just fine. You'll do just
thank
fine.
you, Grant. Grant, you've got some stuff coming up this summer too. What are your plans?
Yeah, this, as I've mentioned, this summer is sabbatical for the Beachies. June, July, and August, I will be away from Cross Park. So I'm so thankful for Cross Park's leadership. I mean, even as I was transitioning to Cross Park going on 4 years ago now, Jeff was aware that I hadn't ever had a sabbatical before. This next month will be my 21st anniversary of ordained ministry. So 21 years of ordained ministry, and haven't had a sabbatical before. And the situation I was coming out of at my previous church, I was particularly tired and worn out, and hadn't had a substantial break in that ministry, the 11 years there and 7.5 years previous at a previous church. So Jeff was like, we need to get you a sabbatical earlier on than we might normally. So our church has just recently now adopted a sabbatical policy that puts sabbaticals usually for pastors come at like the 6-7 year mark, somewhere in there. But this is the 4 year mark for me. So I'm super grateful to the Cross Park leadership and to Jeff for having that foresight, that wisdom, that kindness to say, yeah, you're going to need a break sooner than might normally be customary. And so thankful for that. And also very thankful for something called the Lilly Foundation. They give lots and lots of money to lots and lots of charitable causes. One of those happens to be pastoral well-being. And so they have a clergy renewal grant program that I applied for 2 years ago and didn't get, but applied again last year and did receive. And so that gives to Cross Park $60,000. Our proposal was $59,000 and change. So just under $60,000 for paying for me to go on sabbatical, and there's money there for the church for pulpit supply while I'm away. So a lot to be grateful for, but very thankful for Lilly Foundation, and that's administered through Christian Theological Seminary in Indiana. But then also very thankful for Cross Park Church, her leadership, and the church is being willing to be without a senior pastor, or without a pastor during an interim. So it's very rare I don't know that I've ever encountered a church in our situation during an interim without a senior sending their only other teaching elder on sabbatical. So it's unique, and I'm very grateful. So yeah, much longer answer to a very simple question, Jeff. Thank you. No one's surprised, but yeah, I'll be on sabbatical for 3 months this summer, starting in June.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What could you tell us a little bit about what is the sabbatical? Why do pastors go on sabbatical? You kind of alluded to that in your answer, but yeah, a
Yeah.
little bit more.
Yeah. I mean, I recognize that for a lot of folks, 3 months off just seems unnecessary. And yet, I mean, I've heard people say, well, I've never taken more than 1 week off at a time. So what makes you think you should get 3 months? And I respect that, because we value hard work. But Jesus also in the Bible and our Father also value rest too. And so living within those work-rest rhythms that God has established is good for all of us. And so we do that every day when we put our head on our pillow at night. And we do it weekly when we take a day off from our regular labors and gather with God's people. Um, and God has also made provision for longer seasons of rest, like the seventh year, where fields lay fallow. Don't plant anything, don't harvest anything out of your field, just let it lay. Every seventh year, and then every 50th year, the year of Jubilee, where you take a whole year off from basically everything, and those that are enslaved or returned, if they had a debt to pay at the year of Jubilee, they return to where they were in their land. And so these rhythms of work and rest are baked in to what it means to be human and to live in this world. And so it would be good for all of us, I think, to lean into those rhythms, not only daily by getting good sleep at night, but also weekly, protecting the Lord's Day and the Sabbath, but even taking longer chunks. I mean, we all recognize the need for it with vacations, but there's some things that can't be, some energies aren't restored with a 1 or 2 week vacation. And so there are a book that I've recently read, Ruth Haley Barton's Embracing Rhythms of Work and Rest. There, you can see that. The subtitle is From Sabbath to Sabbatical and Back Again. So if you're interested more on Sabbath and sabbatical, I would encourage you to pick this guy up. Focusing. Really helpful in helping us think through those rhythms. Sabbatical in ministry is a long extended break, usually 3 to 6 months from full-time ministry, to allow a pastor or ministry leader to recover some energies, refocus maybe. There are every calling, every vocation has its particular challenges, but there is something in its own unique way about pastoral ministry that it's an energy drain, and so over time, it's good to step away. It's good for the pastor, it's good for his family, but it's also good for the congregation, because the congregation is reminded that we are not dependent upon this person. And it's good for the pastor to be reminded that the congregation is not dependent upon you. So there's a lot of benefit. Ideally, the pastor comes back refreshed, energized, ready to go. Maybe new energy, new thoughts, just more excitement about ministry. So that's relatively brief thoughts on what a sabbatical is and why pastors go on them. But I mean, the other one last thing to say there is it requires a full break from ministry. So
Yep.
Even just this morning, I was trying to research getting a new phone number, because I know that Cross Park loves me. I mean, I'm very certain of that, and no one would want to disrupt a season of rest for me. But I might, I might still be on some text thread or something about men's Bible study getting together for breakfast, which normally would be great. But if that little thought gets reintroduced there, like, oh, I wonder what so-and-so's up to, and then maybe that distracts me from the rest. So
Should go check on this person, and yeah. Mm-hmm.
yeah. So putting on vacation responders and maybe even getting a new phone number that only certain people have. Not because I don't love you, but because I do. And I want to come back better ready to engage than when I left. Yeah. Well, tell us, Jeff, a little bit more about RUF. I think most of us probably have a sense of what RUF is, but what is it? Why do you love it? Why is that what you're doing after seminary?
Yeah. Thanks for asking. RUF stands for Reformed University Fellowship. It is the PCA's campus ministry, college ministry. I love it because it had a profound impact on my life, on my wife's life. It was the campus ministry that we were involved in undergrad, and we grew a lot, and we just really love its model. Cares a lot about sharing the love of Jesus and teaching us about grace and relying on Him. and really has a heart for connecting students to local churches and not just trying to make self-sustaining Christians, but really leaning into what has Christ Christ came for the church and died for the church, and so let's lean into that and draw students to the church. So that's one of the reasons I love it. I also love it just because I think college is a time where a lot of people become Christians, but also a lot of people fall away from the faith, and I think it's important work in both those respects for encouraging and equipping those kids that come from church backgrounds and helping them to persevere during a formative time of their life, but also reaching people who've never heard of Jesus and His love. I think it's really important opportunities there that we shouldn't miss as the church. So yeah,
That's great. One of the things that I love about pastoring in churches is getting to hear people's stories when they come to interview for membership. And like you said, a lot of those stories involve that time frame right after I leave mom and dad's house. Um, oftentimes it's college and being involved, getting involved in deeper ways in their own spiritual life. So
yeah,
huge formative time. I love that. I'm a big fan of RUF and grateful for guys like you that do that very important work. Why? So that's a little bit about why RUF. Isn't there what's sort of the tagline, the phrase? There's sort
oh
of a
yeah,
motto for RUF.
yes. Reaching students for Christ, equipping them to serve. So it's a play on actually a phrase from the Westminster Confession about perfecting the saints. I forget the first part of the phrase. Might try to find that later. The gathering and perfecting of the saints. That's what it is. So we want to reach students for Christ. We want to that's the evangelism. We want to reach the campus, share Christ with the campus, but then we want to equip those students for a life of ministry, for service in the church. Uh, so that's kind of the two aspects of that phrase. Yeah.
Um, if I'm not mistaken, the majority of campus ministries don't have ordained staff, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Is that something that's unique about RUF?
Yes. I don't think there's any other ministry. Maybe a few BCMs have a ordained guy, but I don't think that's common. RUF is unique in that we put ordained guys on a campus, and that way we kind of treat the college campus as a mission field, where we are ordaining a guy to go there and bear witness to Christ. Obviously, it's a little different. We're not trying to plant a church. We're trying to draw students to the local church. Uh, but we think it's very important to have an ordained minister on a campus who's been theologically trained, who knows the scriptures, and is equipped to answer hard questions and to minister to students with that knowledge background.
Yeah,
Well,
because students are going to be asking a lot of questions.
yes,
Yeah,
students have lots of questions about the Bible and things in the Bible.
yeah, yeah. So um, there's a path toward ordination, which we've alluded to a little bit with licensure. What
Yes.
um, it's end of April 2026 right now. When would you anticipate getting ordained yourself?
Yeah.
What does the road to ordination look like for you?
Yeah. So ordination, since I'll be fully graduating from RTS in December, ordination will have to be after that. You have to have a seminary degree, pass your classes. So ordination will probably be spring next year. And for that, there's two more exams. So the exams don't stop once school stops or licensure stops. Two more exams um, where they grill you on church history and sacraments. So yeah,
Yeah. So Lord willing, this time, maybe May of next year,
yeah,
you'll be ordained. Okay. Similar to Nick, to when Nick DeVusser left a year ago, that that last did he leave a year and a half ago?
No, a year ago. Yeah, a year ago.
Okay. He had a similar process of licensure and ordination.
Right.
And then it was last fall, some point where he was ordained and is now a member of Iowa Presbytery, I think is
Yes.
that
Yep.
presbytery.
Yep.
Can you tell us a little bit more about Western Kentucky and Bowling Green, the community there? And you said
Yeah.
you're not planting a church; you want to connect people to the church. So
Right.
there's a church there that you'll be working with.
There is. So Bowling Green is we would call it a small town. Coming from Charlotte, it's about 70,000 people. And it's an hour north of Nashville. And it's a beautiful area. They of note they have the Corvette Museum. So you love your Corvette, maybe it's a place
Okay,
to stop by.
not have known
But
that.
yeah, yeah. So it's a growing town. I think it's the third largest town in Kentucky after Louisville and Lexington. I think those are ahead of it. But yeah, Gabby and I are looking forward to it. Western Kentucky is uh, it's an interesting campus. What I've kind of heard is that it's not a school that has an identifiable major in the way that like you go there for this.
Mm,
It's kind of broad.
okay,
It's kind of the school that students choose to go to because they don't want to go to University of Kentucky. Um, so yeah,
okay,
I think that'll be very interesting. It has engineering, it has business, um, but it also has liberal arts degrees, photography, things like that.
huh,
So I think it's kind of an eclectic mix of students, demographic, and what they want to do. Uh, but it's also a school that's uh, more athletic than the other campuses I've been at. Winthrop doesn't have a football team. Doesn't have a huge sports emphasis. Tennessee Tech has a little bit more, but when I was a student there, our football team went 1-11 one year, and I was really disappointed it wasn't 0-12. So that tells you anything about the athletics program at my undergrad. I think they've gotten better, but was not a big component of the campus life. So that'll be different, but yeah, looking forward to it. I think it'll be a lot of fun.
good.
And yeah, church there is similar to Cross Park. It's about the same age. Church plant, maybe 15 years old. Kind of in a similar boat. They have a building, but they lease it month to month. So they might not have a building at some point in the future.
Wow.
Uh, so yeah, but it's about 100. I think it's about 100, 130 on a Sunday, or membership wise. And so yeah,
And if I'm not mistaken, the pastor of the church, Dave Baggett, Dave and I were seminary classmates at Covenant Seminary back in the day.
yeah, yeah. So that'll be fun. I get to tease him about you and vice versa.
Good, good. I'm sure I deserve it. Uh, I'm very excited for y'all. There has been a RUF at Western Kentucky before, right? So you're not starting it per se.
Yes. So technically, there's an RUF already there. COVID kind of came through and wiped it out. And so the guy before me has been trying to rebuild it, but uh, he took a new campus uh, over a year ago, and so there's not been any RUF staff at Western Kentucky. So it'll be a little bit of like a replanting process. I'll have a few
Yeah.
students. I'll be a registered student organization, so the campus already will know what RUF is, but it'll be very small. And so working on blowing on coals, trying to grow it back up. Uh,
Blowing on
plan.
coals. That's a good image. I like that. Good.
So, well, Grant, tell us a little bit more about your sabbatical. What are you planning on doing during your sabbatical? What are you looking forward to? Yeah,
Yeah. I'm looking forward to all of it. But I just kind of run through sort of the agenda. I am beginning it begins the first week of June, and I am joining a tour group that Covenant College is putting together. They're calling it the Scots in Scotland because Covenant College are the Scots, but it's a Reformation tour of Scotland that one of the Covenant College professors is leading. And we'll be in Edinburgh for the bulk of that time, but looking at how the Reformation came through Scotland and some key figures in that, John Knox. Honestly, I don't know the itinerary of that tour super well. I'm just excited to fly to Edinburgh and
Be along
join
for
the
the ride.
tour and be a part of that. So that's the first week of June. That'll be while Sarah and Bailey are finishing up school here, and Sarah will have, I think, a week of teacher in service, end of year stuff. And then the two of them will actually fly to meet me in Europe on our way to Malawi. So we are going to spend 3 weeks, the last 3 weeks of June in Malawi, working with an MTW team that's there. They have a Malawian pastor who is seminary trained here in the States, but went back and is planting a Presbyterian Reformed church in hopes of fostering a Presbyterian Reformed denomination in Malawi. His name is Confex, and there's another MTW missionary that works with him who is a 25-year PCA pastor here in the States, and then he and his wife have moved over within the last year to help Confex in that church planting work. Confex has 6 or 7 pastoral interns at his little church. He's got a real heart for developing the next generation of church planters. And so David Rogers is there helping mentor those pastoral interns. But then one of Confex's elders works at an orphanage or a children's home that was kind of the main draw. So I'm planning on not doing any teaching elder stuff this summer. So I'm not going to the church plant to preach. I'm not going to mentor these young guys. I'm going to work at the children's home alongside Sarah and Bailey, do whatever we can to help at the Chimwewe Children's Home. They may have some building stuff that I can do. So like, I think they're working on a library. There may be bookshelves I can build. So getting to work with my hands is some of the hope with our time in Malawi. So 3 weeks in Malawi, and then we fly back to Europe, and Anna, Catherine, and Colin, our 2 older kids, will join us in Switzerland. And we're going to do about a week in Switzerland, just hanging out, have an Airbnb. We'll just see what we can see, rest, be together. Then we'll do about a week in England, particularly the Yorkshire Dales, for any fans of all creatures great and small, as my family is. We're just going to go hang out in the Dales, see if we can find some sheep, take some walks, hang out together. And then we'll spend a week in Ireland as well. So a good bit of travel, international travel, but hopefully having, some 5 or 6 day periods where we're not moving, we're just in one spot, maybe doing day trips here and there.
Yeah.
And then the last week of July, we'll be back in the States. My dad and siblings will all get together in Eastern Tennessee for beachy family vacation. And then August, I'm just off. I'll be probably in Charlotte, but not coming to Cross Park. I may go do a 3 to 5 day silent retreat at a monastery somewhere, just to reflect upon the summer, journal, pray, those kinds of things. So, but then back in September, I'll be back at Cross Park, and we'll see what Cross Park looks like in September. There's no telling what might happen
Yeah.
between now and then. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I'm very interested about your Switzerland day.
Mm.
Gabby and our honeymoon was in New Glarus, Wisconsin, which is America's little Switzerland. So
Oh,
you'll have
interesting.
to let us know how real Switzerland is.
Well, I haven't been to America's little Switzerland. So I don't know that I'll be able to compare it. But yeah, we had a friend tell us, yeah, I did some semester abroad in
Yeah.
Lugano, Switzerland. It's beautiful. You should go there. And we're like, okay, cool. Sounds
Nice.
great.
Yeah.
So yeah, we'll fly in and out of Zurich and take some trains here and there, and may even get down to planning to get down to Florence, Italy, for a night or two, probably 2 nights. Um, it's where I bought Sarah's engagement ring when I was on foreign study in college, and haven't been able to get her back there yet. So we're gonna swing over onto the Ponte Vecchio and see the Duomo, and um, yeah, that'll be part of our summer. So
Very
really
cool. That
looking
sounds
forward
very
to
exciting.
just time with the family, just the five of us. It'll be we love traveling. We've been able to take some. Uh, we did 2 weeks in Kenya back in 2020, but it wasn't at all what we'd hoped it would be because it was March of 2020, and so we were. Um, yeah, that's a whole nother conversation. But
Yeah.
we are we love being together as a family, and so just relaxing together. Our oldest daughter, just is finishing her first year teaching, and it's been a challenging year, as most first year teachers are. So she needs a break. Collins, uh, today's his last day as we're recording. This is his last day of class and his second year of college. So this summer he'll be halfway through college. Bailey just finished sixth grade, is finishing sixth grade. So Sarah's just finishing her first year back teaching. So we're all in need of some rest, and looking forward to getting that together this summer.
Well, that's exciting. I'm excited for you, Grant. I'm sure we all are.
Thank you.
How could Cross Park be praying for you while you're sabbaticaling?
Yeah, thank you. I mean, between now and then, it's all the little logistical stuff. And then while we're away, that all those flights would actually happen, and that we'd remember the train tickets and not leave our passports anywhere, and all those little details.
Yeah.
Um, but we're not trying to plan something for every day, so we want to leave lots of room for, oh, it's raining today. Well, let's just stay in and do a puzzle, or oh, the weather's beautiful. Let's take that 5 mile walk to the next village or whatever. Um, so just that we'd leave I would love prayer, one for all the logistic stuff leading up to and then during. Um, just that we'd have the even within the structure, the flexibility to rest um, and really get the physical refreshment, but also the soul and relational refreshment that times of times away are for. So that'd be the big prayer. I mean, I'm very thankful, very grateful, and really looking forward to the summer. Um, and if Cross Park if y'all would want to pray for us, would love for you to pray about logistics and real soul rest would be great.
Yeah.
Yeah. And what about for you and Gabby? Are there things you would love Cross Park to be praying particularly about as you approach 17 of the 20 most anxiety producing changes that
Yeah. Can I just, you know, Z all the above? No. I think just in particular, probably the move is the biggest thing. And the closest thing on the list that needs to happen, but it's also, there's a lot of things that need to happen before the move, and then there's a lot of things that need to happen for the move. And there's a lot of time. Yeah, yeah, just the move, that everything would get packed and loaded and transported safely, and the wisdom to know, okay, what do we need to take? What are we not going? What would we not use? And uh, what would be better to donate or to leave behind? Um, I think those are questions that we're trying to
yeah.
figure out. And so, yeah, I think prayers for the move are the biggest, and then prayers for students to come next year and
Mm. Yeah.
be a part of RUF. Yeah, I
Yeah.
think those are two things.
How do you tell us about your support situation, what you know of it at this point? Is that something else that Crossport could be praying for or involved with?
Yeah, so I just got access to the Western Kentucky account yesterday,
Okay.
and um, the nice thing is that all of my support I've been raising for the past 6 years working with RUF will go with me. Uh, and since that account's been dormant for a year, nobody's been pulling on it. It has a surplus built up. So the account is in great shape. Um, it looks like my monthly support is about half, about at 50% of where it will need to be for long term sustainable ministry. Uh, so I think prayers for finding people who care about Western Kentucky, care about RUF at Western Kentucky, and would love to see us flourish would be huge, would be really helpful. So yeah, I think prayers in that way would be helpful. Thinking about if you know anyone at Western Kentucky, you know, and would not mind talking to me, that would be wonderful as well.
Cool.
So yeah,
Yeah. Great. Very good. Well, thank you, Jeff. I've enjoyed the conversation. I think
thank you,
we've
Grant. Yeah, too.
hit most of the topics we wanted to cover. So, Crosspark, if there are questions that any of this conversation has risen in you, we'd love to follow up. Please holler at me or Jeff. We'd love to connect with you, answer any questions you have. And I think I do speak for both of us when I say we both love Crosspark and are so grateful for you and the time that we are able to do life and ministry together. So, thanks for watching. Thanks for tuning in. Jeff, anything else before we sign off?
I don't think so. This has been great, Grant.
Cheers. Grace and peace, y'all. See you later.